Osio, Halito, How, Bazu, Apa, Yaate, hello and welcome. Those are all traditional ways to say hello in Cherokee, Choctaw, Dakota and Lakota Sioux, Chippewa, Eskimo, and Navajo. For my behavioral health theory project, I chose to focus on the high-risk drinking among the Native American population. The population of focus was the Native Americans, or American Indians and Alaska Natives. The health behavior I wanted to focus on was the excessive drinking within this certain population. I thought it was best to define what excessive drinking, or heavy drinking, is. The Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration defines binge drinking as 5 or more alcoholic drinks for males or 4 or more alcoholic drinks for females on the same occasion, on at least one day in the past month. Once we understand what binge drinking is, we can define heavy drinking. The Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration also defines heavy alcohol use as binge drinking on 5 or more days in the past month. Next, we will look at the behavior assessment. According to the CDC, as mentioned in the Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report, during 2001 to 2005, an average of 1,514 alcohol-associated deaths occurred annually among American Indians and Alaska Natives, accounting for 11.7% of all deaths in this population. Overall, 771 of average annual alcohol-associated deaths resulted from acute causes, and 743 from chronic causes. The leading acute cause of death was motor vehicle traffic crashes, and the leading chronic cause was alcoholic liver disease. As you can see, Native Americans have the highest percentage of alcohol abuse, as shown by the American Medical Association. This is a continuous issue and results in a high-risk behavior. The types of interventions that have already been applied to this risk behavior are as follows. Nation Drug Court Program, Alcohol Legislation and Taxation Initiative, Safe Communities Program, and the Boys and Girls Club of the Northern Cheyenne Nation Smart Moves programs. We will look at each of the individual interventions in the following slides. The Poarch Creek Indian Nation Drug Court Program. This was founded in 1997. It is a specialized court docket that is set up to handle cases involving alcohol and other drug offenders through comprehensive supervision, drug testing, treatment services, and immediate sanctions and incentives. This looks like a promising program that helps those affected get their lives back together. A graduation ceremony is held for those involved when they complete the program. This is similar to a typical parole program. The Cheyenne River Sioux Alcohol Legislation and Taxation Initiative was founded in 1988. This was used to enforce stricter liquor laws. Collected data to understand the impact of alcohol on the quality of life is one of the uses they had to promote this initiative. This is only truly applied to those establishments and people living on the reservation. They use this as an opportunity to educate their community on the alcohol laws and what the consequences were if they did not comply. This is seen, as the quote says, aggressive enforcement of tribal alcohol regulations. The Turtle Mountain Safe Communities Program was founded in 1997. The Safe Communities Program goal is to increase protective factors through strategies to alter individual and shared community and social environments by creating healthy beliefs, attitudes, and lifestyles, increasing skills for alcohol, abuse resistance, and abstinence. They cultivate community mobilization and increase community ownership and responsibility. This program enlists Mothers Against Drunk Driving, Safe Communities Coalition, and Highway Safety. Forming a community coalition develops partnerships and acceptance for all those involved and helps promote better self-efficacy. The Southern UT Peaceful Spirit Youth Services Program. The Youth Counseling was founded in 1987, Highway Safety 1993, and Underage Drinking Prevention 1999. This uses a systems approach to work with the youth as an individual and part of a family. According to the American Indian Development Associates, to achieve and maintain wellness and safety, a holistic community philosophy and approach is used. This is based on the principle that each person is part of a whole, and an individual action affects the balance of everyone and everything within that whole. This promotes community. The final initiative that has been used is the Boys and Girls Club of Northern Cheyenne Nation Smart Moves program. This was founded in 1993, and then the Smart Moves was founded in 1996. The overall goals of decreasing risk factors in the community that are favorable to alcohol and substance abuse by youth. This utilizes age-appropriate education. SMART Moves stands for Skills, Mastery, and Resistance Training. It's a prevention program. This keeps the youths involved. To maintain their membership within this program, they are required to attend 75% of the sessions for SMART Moves. The theories applied within this risk behavior are the social ecological model. This includes the 5 stages of individual, interpersonal, organizational, community, and public policy. The interventions look at the whole system. They do not look at just the individual themselves, but the entire Native Indian population. Another theory applied is reasoned action and planned behavior. According to Momper, this was in an interview with an elder. He had participated in drinking behaviors and highlighted how drinking became a way of life, living in both urban American Indian environments and on the rural reservation settings, and he had to overcome these issues. This shows how that the reasoned action of drinking and alcohol shaped the elder's intent to consume the alcohol. Not only was his intent to consume it, this also shaped his social influences from the rest of the tribe. It was considered a way of life, and everyone was doing it. According to DeClementi, the action was the actual consumption of the alcohol specified by the elder. The target was to consume the alcohol that was presented to them when they were younger. The context was just the social norm. The time? Anytime it was prevented. He couldn't stop himself. The social cognitive theory. DeClementi describes the socio-structural factors as the world people live in enables and limits their ability to effectively engage in goal-directed behavior. In this study, the groups that the Native American adolescents chose to participate and spend their time determined how likely they were to engage in a health behavior. This could be either positive or negative. In this case, it was negative because the peers they were associated with were more likely to engage in unhealthy substance abuse behaviors. According to Heavy Runner Rue, the associations with groups where attitudes favorable towards substance use become more frequent, more intense, and of a higher priority in the lives of youth, the likelihood of use and associations with substance using peers increases. Building a new intervention. We would first want to use fidelity, which is described as the degree to which a program or practice is implemented as intended, and adaptation, describing how much and in what ways a program or practice is changed to meet local circumstances. We must also take into account the cultural background of drinking among the target population. The health promotion strategies laid out by DeClementi, as the image shows, would also be a way to look at how to build a new intervention. All of these strategies have their benefits, but for my purpose of implementing a new intervention, I wanted to focus on past research, community capacity building, advocacy, and health education. The first step to reduce the rate of excessive alcohol consumption is prevention. Using past research as a tool to gain the knowledge of why this is a high-risk behavior is important. This knowledge can be used to assist in education. We need to build on the past research to drive the focus for new research. I would want to focus my efforts on why alcohol is consistently misused. According to Hawkins, alcohol misuse is consistently cited as one of the most critical health concerns facing American Indian and Alaskan Native communities. Community capacity building. We would create focus groups, use the reservation resources. Building on the idea of focus groups, we could make tailored questions for the groups to answer, hence a focus group. Promote ideas on how to refrain from drinking in excess. Using the focus groups would create a sense of community amongst the population, bringing people together that have the same issue, almost like an Alcoholics Anonymous, but using their stories and experiences to gain research into why they started this behavior in the first place. Advocacy. We would want to show a commitment to wanting to help them improve. We would offer resources such as tailored AA classes or community support around this behavior. We'd want to keep this focused on the people. Through advocacy, which is defined as the act or process of supporting a cause or proposal, we could show a commitment to wanting to help the Native Americans improve their lifestyles. We could potentially offer the Alcoholics Anonymous classes to those just on the reservation. We could also have the community support through closing liquor stores early or recruiting restaurants or local bars to limit the amount of alcohol they serve during open hours. And finally, using health education. A person's world can consist of the people in it, the physical area they live in, or the people they choose to associate with. If the prevention is too far past, then having the knowledge and the individual self-efficacy would be the next step to help tailor a program that would assist the Native Americans to change their behavior of excessive alcohol consumption and the high-risk drinking. We could try and set up a booth at a powwow to include information on the effects of drinking and how you can change how you're drinking in excess. In conclusion, we have to take into account all the cultural values that the Native American population have before trying to change their lifestyle. We want to use these interventions that are based on community and advocacy, promoting positive reinforcement and self-efficacy. Thank you for your time.